just tore me apart. I mean, there's no other way to explain it.
Found that through an intermediary.
Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban facing some pretty tough facts and saying that he is sorry for what happened in his team's front office. An independent investigation found it rampant with sexual harassment and misconduct for more than 20 years. Andrea Lucia beginning our live team coverage on this story tonight. She's over at the American Airlines Center. Andrea?
The attorneys behind this investigation say they interviewed 215 people, reviewed 1.6 million documents, and spent 7 months putting this extensive report together. They talked about, how much cooperation and access they got from the Dallas Mavericks, but they also emphasized their independence. They say they do not represent the Mavericks organization, and that every single finding in this report is theirs and theirs alone. It wasn't the Dallas Mavericks basketball team, but the business office behind the scenes. An independent investigation found rife with harassment.
It is really impossible, I think, now for me standing here to overstate to you how devastating it is for an organization when the CEO is the person who is engaged in sexual harassment.
Investigators documented what they call credible accusations by 15 women that former CEO Terdima Usuri subjected employees to unwanted touching, forcible kissing, and inappropriate comments. They found a senior ticket salesman, Chris Hyde, watched pornography on his work computer and once dropped a used condom in the office, while a Mavs.com writer, Earl Sneed, physically assaulted 2 women, including a co-worker.
In hindsight, it was staring me right in the face, and I missed it. I think, I wasn't as focused on the business as I should have been.
The investigation found no evidence the team's owner, Mark Cuban, was aware of his CEO's conduct, but faulted him for failing to ask questions or to fire the 2 employees he did know about.
We also find significant errors in judgment and decisions that Cuban made.
The organization has already taken action to fix its problems, starting with the hiring of new CEO Cynthia Marshall.
We are well on our way to transforming the culture of the Dallas Mavericks organization.
As recently as February, the Mavericks had no women at the executive level. Now, nearly half its leadership is female. Lead investigator Ann Milgram warned, though, the problems discovered are hardly unique to the Mavericks, pointing to research showing there's good reason many women never report harassment in their own workspace.
You find consistently that when women do make reports, they are retaliated against. They do end up leaving their jobs. They do end up with worse jobs. And so it's kind of an incredible leap of faith that you're asking people to make.
Well, the report did make specific recommendations on how to address some of the issues uncovered by the investigation. They included finding easier ways for victims to report harassment and also clarifying what Mark Cuban's role is on the business side of this organization. Reporting live in Dallas, Andrea Lucia, CBS 11 News.
Andrea, thank you very much. And even though the report says Mark Cuban largely didn't know a lot of what was happening in the Mavericks front office, he is still hearing plenty of criticism. Keith Russell joining us with that aspect. So what are you hearing as far as criticism?
Well, some people think he did a good job of explaining himself. Some people think, Doug, he still has a very long way to go. Despite donating $10 million to support women's organizations against domestic violence, the Mavs owner is still being seen as if he could have done more to prevent an environment that was clearly out of control. And while it's true he was in the dark in some ways, it's also true Cuban was made aware of other things.
Just the pain that they went through, my company. It was the same way I felt when I stood in front of Mavs employees for the first time after this came out. And I apologize to them.
Cuban did not stand up in front of the media in Dallas when he made his apology, and that has brought its share of criticism.
Well, I think there should have been hitting him where it really hurts, like the loss of a draft choice or not being able to attend games.
Raji Dunn, the attorney of former American Airlines Center employee Michelle Newsom, is seeking information from Cuban regarding a racial discrimination complaint against the managing firm of the AAC. In this case, Raji thinks Cuban is getting off way too easy.
$10 million donated to charity that's tax deductible for a billionaire is a slap on the wrist.
The goal, even more than the money, is for me to get out there and, teach others from my experiences.
Was there any point through all this where Adam Silver discussed selling the team with you?
No.
Was there a point you considered it yourself?
No, I don't run away from my mistakes.
Now, Doug, one of the things that came from the interview with ESPN is CEO Cynthia Marshall saying now a makeshift basketball court exists in the business office to remind Mark Cuban that he needs to be a presence in that part of the organization, just like he is around the actual team.